Welcome to the Get Fit Guys, quick and dirty tips to slim down and shape up. My name is Ben Greenfield. I'm the Get Fit Guy, and today you're going to learn 3 reasons to include something called EMOM in your workouts. So, let's jump into today's episode. Lately, I've been experimenting with a training protocol called EMOM. And no, EMOM is not some kind of a fancy, newfangled electronic mothering service. It's actually an acronym for the phrase every minute on the minute. And it's a style of training in which you complete a specific set of movements or exercises every minute, then you rest until the end of the minute, starting again at the top of the next minute. If your goal is to develop cardiovascular or muscular endurance, then you should know that this is a great way to squeeze as much work as possible into a very short period of time, and it's a great strategy to know and use. So in this episode, you're going to learn how to do EMOM, you'll get some sample EMOM workouts, and learn about 3 different reasons you should include EMOM in your workout routine. So typically, because it's so physically demanding, an EMOM workout lasts from 10 to 30 minutes in length, and it's performed with a somewhat heavy weight that allows you to complete just 3 to 5 reps in that minute. So for example, for a 10-minute EMOM workout, you would do 10 rounds of 5 reps of a movement, like, say, the barbell squat. If the amount of time that it takes you to do 5 reps is, say, 45 seconds, then that gives you 15 seconds of rest before the top of the minute, at which point, at the 60-second mark, you would begin the next set. You can also do EMOM using a cardiovascular-based exercise. So this is a practice that have been used among swimmers, for example, for a long time. Like they would swim 50 meters, leaving every 60 seconds for a new 50-meter set. And you can also use it for rowing sets, like row 100 meters as hard as possible, starting a new 100-meter set every 60 seconds, or running. For example, run 200 meters on a track as fast as possible, then recover to the 60-second mark. Here are a few other examples of EMOM-style training. 5 pull-ups or pull-downs per minute for 20 minutes, 3 push-ups, 2 pull-ups, and 3 bodyweight squats per minute for 30 minutes. And yes, as you see, you can use a combination of different moves in an EMOM workout. 5 deadlifts using 1.5 times your body weight per minute for 10 minutes. 8 alternating jump lunges per minute for 10 minutes. If your goal is to develop cardiovascular endurance, you should, as you can probably guess, use exercises or modes of exercise in an EMOM workout that involve body weight, lower weights, and more repetitions. But if your focus is muscular endurance, then you should definitely use lower reps and heavier weights, choosing exercises like squats and deadlifts. Generally, if you're just getting started with EMOM, you should start with easier exercises, a lower number of reps or less weight than you think you can handle, because just like a Tabata set, the farther you get into the workout, the more tired you will become and the more difficult it will be to maintain good form. By the way, if you don't know what a Tabata set is, then I will link to the episode I did on Tabatas in the show notes for this episode, which you can get at quickanddirtytips.com. Just go to the show notes for episode number 255. Okay, so let's jump into those 4 reasons that I mentioned you should do EMOMs. The first is, as I alluded to earlier in this episode, time efficiency. Because you're racing the clock in an EMOM workout, you don't have time to just sit down and recover between sets. You have to keep working the whole time, and because of this, you get all the benefits of a regular weight training session, but in much less time, albeit with a bit more burn and discomfort. The second reason to include these is to simply squeeze more high-quality volume into less time. For example, in many workouts like, say, CrossFit workouts, the goal is often to do an AMRAP, which stands for as many rounds as possible in X period of time, like, say, 20 minutes. And often this requires you to bounce from exercise to exercise as fast as you can. But with EMOM, you simply do your recommended number of reps, like, say, 5 squats, then you recover until the next minute comes around. And with this strategy, you'll find you can maintain high-quality biomechanics throughout the set, even when lifting heavy weights and low reps. The third reason to use EMOM is because of the motivation to get more of a muscle and cardiovascular endurance training effect. Even if you're doing, say, 5 reps of squats, not traditionally considered an exercise or a number of reps that would be used to enhance endurance compared to, say, running or rowing or swimming or cycling, you're still going to get only a minimal amount of rest between those squat sets, less rest than you'd probably give yourself naturally if you weren't doing an EMOM workout. But because you're motivated by the clock and those 60 seconds, you jump back into that next set, even if it's tough. Now, don't get me wrong, the goal is not for you to sacrifice form at all costs to squeeze in all your squat reps, but at the same time, you'll find that with an EMOM, you're often able to maintain both proper biomechanics and work your heart, lungs, and lactic acid buildup quite significantly. And what's the fourth reason to include EMOM? Well, it's a different style of training that motivates you, and frankly, I think it makes time go by fast. So it's just one more way to keep you motivated to train. Now, if you have more questions or comments about how to use EMOM, then head over to facebook.com/getfitguy and join the conversation there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And in the meantime, I'm Ben Greenfield, the Get Fit Guy, asking you, what are you waiting for? Go get fit.